Monday was the 14th of May, and we landed at the port at Cozumel. Cozumel is a little island port that's next to the Yucatan Peninsula. The ship docked at Cozumel, but we were immediately escorted to a ferry boat docked to the Triumph.
Here we are on the way to Tulum.
The ferry proceeded to take us across the bay to Playa del Carmen. As was explained to us, Playa del Carmen was a tiny little fishing port until it suddenly became integral to the tourist trade as far as taking people to Tulum and things like that. So it is now turned into quite an interesting place. I wouldn't mind living there, actually. It's very nice, kind of scenic. It's growing. There are areas where you can tell it was just kind of a backwater fishing town, but all of that's being replaced with high-rises, well, not high-rises, but apartments and condominiums, and then there are like major resorts along the road. One thing I found interesting is these resorts are all guarded. They are fenced in heavily and they are guarded. It would not be easy to get into this place unless you came through the front gate, and you can't get through the front gate unless you're invited. It's an interesting dichotomy of seeing this pleasant little fishing town, and then the second you leave that area, you're driving along and everything's, barbed wire and high fences. But I suppose you have to do what you have to do. Our guide on the tour was a man named Carlos. Carlos was very informative. He spent the entire trip down to the entrance to Tulum talking about the city, talking about the Mayan culture, and discussing preconceived notions, and some of which were dumb, some of which actually had basis and merit. He informed us a lot about the fact that everyone talked about how the Mayans disappeared, and in fact saying, of course, the Mayans didn't disappear, they just got integrated into the other societies around, and He talks about the fact that the Yucatan Peninsula still has plenty of Mayan descendancy in it, himself being one of them. After a great discussion with Carlos about the Mayan culture and the city of Tulum, we eventually took a turn off the main road. The bus then arrived at the entrance area to Tulum. Now, this area is comprised of an open-air market type situation with several restaurants, places to eat. There are several shops. There's a lot to see and do right there, different places to see, different wares. I recommend any of it. It was all good. Everybody was very nice. Our guide, Carlos, pointed out certain places to eat, as well as various souvenir shops that we might want to check out. Then we went to the ticket area, where I had to purchase not only a ticket to examine the ruins, but a specific license to video. Still photography is generally okay. If you're going to video at the site, you have to obtain a special license. I was fine with this arrangement and paid the amount necessary to obtain a one-time videographer license for the ruins of Tulum. Then we proceeded down this long walkway and up to a rock wall with a niche carved into it. Once we stepped through the niche, we were on the grounds of the ancient city of Tulum.
Now it's too hot to look at the tree. Yeah, I don't kidding you. There's a concrete there. All right, amigos, please, I need you right here in the shade, please. So, very important. As I was commenting to you before, I I like to do the tour following the shade, right? Hope you don't mind that shade. Bueno, I brought... Tijuana is friendly. Friendly with the tourists. Okay, so since we are here in the shade, take a look. We have something really interesting here. We may see people walking through here. People even stop in here because of the shade, and sometimes people don't see things. Let me tell you, right here where we are standing, if you look carefully, you will discover something here. If you see, looks like dirt color, right? Little pieces of limestone, right? But look, besides limestone, we have something else. Besides the limestone, we may see, you may find broken pottery. Can you see? Let me show you. It's right here. No, it's right here. Look, everywhere here. You see the colors? I mean, this red, red color, red color, red color. Look, everything here, red color, red. All of that, it is broken pottery. The limestone, it is gray color. And look at here, look at here. There is a, one here. There's a pretty good sized piece. And you can see the texture, you can touch it. It's not limestone, this is pottery. Since we have this kind of foundation, I'm assuming that somebody very important back in those days living here, and this was, how do you say, domestic pottery. Okay, otherwise the important pottery is well known as ritualistic, right? But this one, domestic pottery, and you can see it's all over. So this is something pretty interesting, right? That we have in Tulum, and unfortunately, not much people see it. And I guess that is good, because otherwise people may take it.
I was going to say you wouldn't have any left.
Yeah, well, even when we have the guards, I mean, over here, they always keep an eye on us because they may think that we give this to people, but we always say, no, just take a look, okay? So please, amigos, follow me. Vámonos.
Primera y segunda casa. Es el mismo complejo, the same complex, hasta el templo. Es parte de la familia real. Debajo de esto, underneath this, hay cupas. We have cupas. La diferencia, the difference, entre los de la familia real, voy a saber, y los nobles, the noble people, que no había joyería.
Stucco, like that could be not that relevant. I mean, the stucco on the building. But let me tell you, if I say the use of a stucco on the building, I guess talks about something pretty interesting. Nowadays, how do we say? Aesthetics. I mean, having in mind that Mayan society, it was that good.
Here, Carlos points out the temple of Amuzen-Kab, the deity sacred to the city of Tulum. Honey and bees were very important to the agriculture and to the very culture of the city of Tulum. As such, they honored the descending god, or the diving god, as Amuzen-Kab is always depicted upside down. Amuzen-Kab was a proprietor of peace and prosperity for the city of Tulum and the surrounding area for a very long time. As Carlos was pointed out, this image can be found throughout the city and always in an upside down position, no matter where it is put.
Another thing I discovered, can you see handprints up there? Yeah. We have the handprints, and with these people, there's a theory that says that the handprints, those were like perhaps the signature of the architect. Other people says no, could it be the bless? of the priests when they open the building. I mean, this kind of ideas. But we have the use of colors, right? And I would like to show the most beautiful detail on this complex. Please, can you take a look to that corner? Tell me what you see.
I see someone's face.
Someone's face, someone's profile, okay? So please come this way, follow me over here. Right here, please. All right, so if you stand here, everybody here, facing to the corner, right? Look, now we don't see the profile. Now we see a 3D mask. Can you see it now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get the two eyes? Can you get the nose? Can you get the lips and the mouth, the chin? I don't know, to me it's quite nice to say that back then Mayan society was able to manage the perspective. You need to get the corner to see the face. Otherwise, we only see the profile, okay? And I'm really sorry guys to insist, but to achieve that, you must be good making planning. And that explains you must be good using numbers, right? To create something like that, not once, but twice, right? On both corners. So now please let me go.
Beside El Castillo is a promenade where you can see out into the beautiful waters and the white sand beach of Tulum. We took the uneven steps down to the white shore. It was very beautiful and very nice beach. I wish we had had time to actually kind of mess around in the water, but we didn't really have the time because there was still so much to see. We traveled down the various paths looking at the ancient structures, including the Temple of the Sun, the solstice, which when June 21st rolls around, the sun will shine right through that opening directly onto the courtyard in front of it. Since that's my beloved Ren's birthday, as well as our anniversary, I felt that was a very interesting structure and something to remember. We then had lunch at a restaurant there in the courtyard open tourist area. It was chicken and cheese enchilada for me, and Ren got tacos. We also had a habanero salsa with chips. All of it was absolutely first-rate, wonderful, and delicious, and I felt fine. The trip to Tulum was truly something special, and what made it even more special was being there with my beloved honey while we explored those ancient Mayan ruins. All in all, a wonderful day and a wonderful birthday present.